Hey guys, I just wanted to speak quickly to mental health, to the seeming chaos in the world, to the portal of the mind, and most importantly, to the spiritual reality behind the things that we see. So there was the Charlie Kirk shooting, there was the girl on the train who was stabbed by someone with schizophrenia, who was hearing voices and believed that she could read his thoughts. And there's this divide between the left and the right. And I think that just like in Jesus' time, it's not a divide between us and them, the Gentiles and the Jews. It's actually a divide between good and evil. And I've literally seen like people on the left say no one who's on the right could possibly be a Christian, and people on the right say no one who's left could possibly be a Christian. And the thing about the light of God, about the living word living in us and the spirit of Jesus, is that it transcends all of these kinds of boundaries. I think it's what we're talking about here is a battle between good and evil, a battle between the light and the dark. It's like it says that our battle is not against flesh and blood. It's not against this stuff that's around us, not even the people that are around us, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. So there's something going on behind the scenes here. And I know in neurodiversity gifts, I talk about how these mental health conditions can be gifts if we learn how to harness them. I do want to emphasize as well, they can also lead to a lot of destruction. I mean, what I believe that schizophrenia is a portal towards the spiritual dimension. Part of us is accessing that. And we know from these biblical verses that that spiritual dimension is inhabited by both benevolent, good, and malevolent, evil beings. And so I don't know exactly what determines whether the good or the evil comes in. I wonder if maybe it's something to do with the sin in our life or our predispositions, the darkness, the character, something like that. But when we are open to those kinds of things, that's kind of what I think happened in the train, is that people get taken over by these forces, and it can lead to very real evil. So on the one hand, that's scary, and we could say, oh, well, just shut everyone with mental health conditions behind walls and like stick them there and isolate them from society to keep society safe. But society is not safe if we think that this is just a material existence. That's why people become empty. That's why people turn to these other things to try to fill us, because the things of this world are not enough. We have a God-shaped hole within us, and people crave meaning and purpose. Oh, well, my meaning and purpose is going to be to take out that guy, because then it'll make me seem significant, or something like that. I think what we need is a realization that the biblical worldview is right all along, that all of this is actually a lower dimensional reflection of a spiritual reality. And there's forces going on behind the scenes that are affecting all of this. Those with mental health conditions can be trained, can be purified to be able to properly access that portal, which everyone has. We're all neurodiverse. We're all able to access that spiritual reality. And then we fight our battle there. We fight our battle in the spiritual world, and not against the people who are being taken over by these forces. These are just some of the things that I think will help to reorient us. The canon of scripture, it means a straight line. It's like a line that you hold up if you're building a building, and it falls straight down so you can tell what's skew and what's not. Without the biblical worldview, without the canon, we're not sure if everything's right or not. It's just people's opinion. Is evil really evil? Is that just someone's right to believe what they believe? If evil really exists in the world, and I think it's becoming clearer and clearer that it does, what that also means is that good really exists in the world, that God really exists in the world, and that changes everything. If there's no ultimate standard of good, then there's no ultimate standard of evil. But if there is something that just is, we know it's wrong, then that shows that instilled within us is right, is a standard of what rightness is. Even Plato would call that the ultimate good. That kind of thing is God, and God is doing something now. God is waking up his people. He's showing people that there are these cosmic forces at play, and I think that the people of Jesus have always thrived in times like this, and it doesn't need to look the way that it did. In the Jesus Revolution of the 70s, it looked very different than some of the, more serious and more somber practices of religion. And I think that the world is setting up for a new reformation, a new revival, to bring the people of God that light, that unifying character of the Spirit of Jesus living within us to the world, because that's the medicine.